Good evening. Welcome to the John Gaunt podcast. Donald Trump and Nigel Farage. Do they talk plain common sense, or are they, as the mainstream media and the rest of the EU would want you to think, madmen? I want your views. This is going to be about Donald Trump and about the way that he stormed into the Davos meeting today and gave that elite 2 barrels, gave them both barrels. Superb performance. I didn't necessarily, agree with him on everything, but at least he was talking common sense. And I think he's more in tune, along with Nigel, with us than anybody else in the World Economic Forum. Do you agree? And here's the quiz of the day. Where was Never Hear Keir? Keir Starmer didn't go. Possibly the only meeting of the World Economic Forum that mattered. And that idiot, the man with the Midas touch in reverse, didn't go. So, Donald, anyway, he walked in there in Davos. He delivered a blistering message. The global elite just didn't want to hear it. From green energy dogma to Greenland, Denmark, world security, Trump made it clear. This wasn't a speech for the elite, the global elite sitting in this room and their lackeys and their mates in the mainstream media. It was a message going right over their head for the public of the world. Just like Nigel Farage, Trump was speaking well over the heads of that political and media class and directly to millions across the Western world who feel their countries are becoming unrecognisable. People who are fed up with uncontrolled migration. Donald Trump actually spoke about that, and he said countries are unrecognisable. Now, whether you even agree with some level of migration or not, you've got to say that Britain, for example, has changed dramatically in the last 10 years or so. This uncontrolled migration, controlled migration, well managed, is good for a country. But what we've got now is open borders by the back door. No surprise with Keir Starmer, or by the front door, because they're all coming in via Dover. It was also his speech today addressing people like me and you probably who are totally knackered, exhausted by imposed woke, what do they call it? Diversity and inclusion. And what's the E stand for? Forgotten. But anyway, all of that nonsense. It's all gone too far. It was also a speech for people who want secure borders, national sovereignty. It was for Italians to say you should be proud of being Italian. An American, proud to be an American. And British, dare I say it, proud to be British. Proud to be fanatical about your country, in the sense of you want to wrap yourself in the flag. Not racist. Tired of being lectured and labelled by the woke cultural Marxists who infest education, the police, universities, social services. Do I need to go on? Oh, TV, of course, the BBC. Because the real divide today, and it was proved in this speech, is that it's no longer left versus right. It's the public versus a detached global elite and their allies, their chummies, in the mainstream media. And they simply can't cope with a world changing outside their control. That's why they now want to control the internet. That's why they hate Elon Musk. They don't like any of it. That's why they won't go on GB News, because people are beginning to challenge their narrative. And while all this was happening in Davos, one question remains unanswered. You might, for a bit of fun, like to suggest where Starmer was, keep it clean. But where exactly was Keir Starmer? The man who goes on more foreign holidays than Judith Chalmers, that's one for the oldies, he didn't go to Davos today. They're now saying it's because Trump snubbed him. Trump didn't want to talk to him. Oh, and let's just see how they're all reacting, shall we? The EU, latest breaking news, has halted the deal, the trade deal that they agreed last year between the EU and America. Oh, I guess he'll lose sleep. There's a brilliant picture on my phone of Ursula von Leyen, or whatever her name is, shaking Donald Trump's hand, and he's just looking totally disinterested. I thought the speech today was very good, and he spoke for the best part of 2 hours. He also said, I'm not going to use force. I told you all this the other day. I'm not going to use force to take Greenland. I don't need to. I don't want to do that. Again, that's the mainstream media not being able to cope with somebody in power telling the truth. So they push this narrative that he's gone mad. Now, he did ramble at points, but you try doing a speech for 2 hours, especially at his age, especially as he didn't have much sleep last night because he had to turn around and go and get another plane. Tough at the top, isn't it? I think he delivered a fantastic message, which is you can't be a country without borders. You must have borders. You must have sovereign states. And I think then what is talking about with Denmark and Greenland is that for the global shield to work, he needs to be in control of Greenland. And I think maybe everyone's getting a bit worked up about this because there's a poll out today where the people in Greenland are quite happy to be under his control. And that it might be for the best. If it gives us global security, he's not handled it well. Like I said the other day, he has been a bit of a bully boy. But at least there's none of this namby-pamby EU, let's talk about something forever and never do anything attitude. He has begun to sort out the Middle East. He has done well with what he did with kidnapping that dictator. But people don't want to give him any pats on the back, do they? Venezuela. That was a fantastic operation. And as I said last night, wouldn't you rather have Trump securing your future than the EU or China or China or indeed Russia? And I found it really interesting that Keir Starmer didn't go today. But what he did do, he did Prime Minister's questions. And he basically said, if you are against the Chinese embassy decision, then you're against helping Ukraine. This is what he was implying. You are against Greenland. No, I think that the Ukraine war's gone on too long. We've got to get it finished now. I also think the Greenland thing, I think Donald's got a bit carried away. Although when I listened to him today, I understood it more. And I do go back to that thing. Why should Americans in the Midwest pay for our security? I can see his problem. We've been having it off for too long here in Europe. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Donald? I just think they've got him now as the pantomime villain. And no matter what he did, because like I'm saying, even if he brings world peace, they don't like him still. He has got a different way of approaching things. But, excuse me, I've still got this cold. You can't deny he's getting results. And isn't that what we all want? I mean, some of the things he talked about today, about, for example, the whole wokeness of the modern Western world, the fact that European countries are changing in front of our eyes. That doesn't mean you're anti-migrant. That doesn't mean you're anti-immigration. It just means you need it to be controlled. And you want people to fit in. And if they don't fit in, you want them to ship out. And you want it to be controlled in every sense, whether they're turning up in a dinghy at Dover or whether they're overstaying their welcome. You see, in a sense, 2 days ago, I brought up the subject of the woman I used to work with on BBC London, yeah? And the fact that she had made this video, this story up about being at Minneapolis airport when they were sending people back. And she thought it was horrendous. So until I made the point, hold on, maybe some of them are rapists, some of them are paedophiles, not all of them, but some of them, but all of them are criminals because they shouldn't be in America. It's that sort of muddled liberal thinking where those people are not living amongst these people that the problems occur. But they dominate the cultural and political agenda. And we're fed up of it, aren't we? Aren't you fed up of, oh, what's your pronoun? Do I have to say this? Can I say that? Oh, am I allowed to use the word him? You know what I'm trying to say. It's nonsense. Your views, please. It isn't racist to want secure borders, national sovereignty, and the right to be proud of your own country without being lectured or labelled. So, as I say, the divide now is not between left and right. It's the public, the general public, versus a detached global elite. And that global elite is media and political. The two things have merged. That is what is wrong. So I'm asking a question the political class don't want asked. When Trump and Farage speak about borders, migration, national identity, are they talking common sense? Or are they always labelled madmen because they're saying out loud what millions are thinking? Do you think Keir Starmer's view of the world has as much support, for example? I know he won the election by a landslide. Has he got as much support as Farage? No. I nearly did one tonight saying, why don't we make Farage Prime Minister now? Because look at the ridiculous situation. I've criticised Never Hear Keir because he goes away. He'd go to the opening of a packet of crisps, wouldn't he? He's not gone to Davos because he's scared of Trump. But he should be there. This is the one thing he should be at when Trump was going to talk about Denmark and Greenland, particularly if these liberal elite believe it could herald World War III. But he was here trying to score petty points off Kemi Badenoch. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And excuse me, losing my voice. Who is in Davos? Nigel Farage. That's who. And Nigel, no doubt, will have a word with Trump. But don't you think now is the time to put political nonsense aside? Shouldn't Starmer, because Nigel's already said he'd do this, shouldn't Starmer have said to Farage, could you have a word with Donald Trump and calm him down a bit? Help us out. Starmer's too effing arrogant to do that. And so this will just drag on and drag on and drag on. But on the world stage tonight, the British leader, let me tell you, is one Nigel Farage, not spineless Starmer. Trump walked into that room today. He'd only just got off the helicopter from the plane. He didn't speak to the elites in the room. He was speaking to you and me. And if the global establishment is panicking, good. And if they are, that tells you everything you need to know. You watch the stories that will come out over the next few days. We've got them on the back foot. We've got them on the ropes. What have I told you before? When they're on the ropes, you keep punching. You punch harder and faster. These people have wrecked the Western world. They've turned it into a third world shithole. Because we've been debating this for weeks, for months, saying, what's he up to? Well, it would seem they've got their agenda. And today, in Davos, Trump basically said, enough is enough. Right, that's enough of me. I now want to go to your comments. Thanks for everybody doing that. We've got 13 likes. Can't leave it on that. Let's get some more likes. Press the like button. Also, if you wish to donate, feel free as well. press the little $sign, which I think is next to the comments on the YouTube page, or alternatively, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. It's as simple as that. I just want to say a big thank you to Cheryl, who bought me a cup of coffee just before I started, Valentine Smith, who bought 3 earlier today, and Leslie Clark. If you'd like to do that, please do so. Well, remember, these podcasts are self-financed. We need the alternative media now more than ever. Let's go. I like them both, says Neil Kelly on Facebook. You mean Farage and Trump? A million times better than Keir. I can't argue with you. I'm with you 100%. I think some of the things Trump says, I'm not totally in favour. But when he explained the Greenland thing today, I began to see it. And it's not like talking about, I want to control everything about it. And that's the deal that's going to happen in the end. Because without NATO, without America in NATO, you can't defend anything anyway. And now he said, I'm not going to use violence or my military power against a NATO country. What's the problem? Come to a compromise. They won't, because they hate Trump. Evening Gaunt here, completely agree with Trump on the Chagos Islands, says Jake Morton Brown. Yeah, that was the thing that Starmer was trying to pull off. Sorry, I got that wrong a bit earlier. He's trying to pull off that if you're against the Chagos deal, then you would be in favour of Trump and what he wants to do in Greenland, which, by the way, is a load of bullshit, because he said himself today he's not going to invade. However, the Chagos deal, the more you look at it, the more it disgusts me. And so I heard somebody on the radio today saying, I wouldn't call him a traitor. Well, I would. He's a traitor. He's not only selling or giving away our sovereign territory, he's giving it them, and then he's paying for the privilege. This man is a danger, a clear and present danger to us. He doesn't believe in Britain. He doesn't believe in the British. He doesn't believe in our traditions. He's like a stick of rock. If you broke him in half, well, it wouldn't break, would it, like a stick of rock? It would sort of gently bend. Written through it would be liberal, or would be the word human rights. That's what he's bothered about, particularly the human rights of people who don't live here. Wow, I agree with all you're saying here. Spot on, says Neil Kelly. Well, Neil, tell all your friends about the show. I'm here every night at 6. Leanne Tail says stew. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Craig Urquhart, Trump only wants Greenland to change the name to Orange Land. I like that. Very funny. If you want to make up, where has Keir been today? Never hear Keir. 40 foreign trips since he's been in power. Got his own plane, but he didn't go today. Do you think he was frit? I wonder where he is. Germany sent a plane load of troops to Greenland. Trump threatens tariffs to Germany. Those German troopers went straight back to Germany. Kind of works, doesn't it? It might be a bit primitive, but his style works. Neil Kelly, why have you put Craig Urquhart? What are you doing? Just make a point. You're going to annoy me in a minute. Leanne Teal, of all the world leaders, Trump is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I agree with you. Did you see today? Well, where Starmer was suggesting, Starmer, wasn't it? It's all merged into one. But he's that Farage was like a Hitler. He should be begging Nigel Farage to speak to his best mate, Donald Trump. Isn't it country first, party second? Maybe not with Keir Starmer. I don't know. He's a weird one, isn't he? Let's move on. It's the John Gaunt Show, by the way. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, the best way to support me is to go to YouTube and join John Gaunt TV. When it comes up, when you first go there, it'll say, do you want to subscribe? Don't panic. No money. It's free. Just say yes. Then you'll always know when I'm doing a show. Thank you very much. Quinten, too long. Your name's too long. I can't read it out. Trump shows true power, and politicians are shown up because they all have no balls. Exactly what I think. Now get yourself a proper YouTube name so it's easier for me to read. I'm like Dame Edna. I should give everyone a sticker with the name on. Do you remember when She did that. Oh, how funny was Barry Humphries? What a speech, says Carl Eves. Now, that's better. A double name, Carl Eves, but all one syllable. One syllable in each. That's what everyone should be. John Gaunt. Rob Smith. I'm joking. What a speech, Gaunty. What a leader. What a man. How I wish we had someone like him in charge of our country. He's so positive about America. The haters are always going to hate him, and that won't change. Carl, that's a brilliant comment. You're right. I wonder whether anybody else wants to comment on that. Wouldn't you rather? I mean, I wish he was saying, I'll take over Britain. Now I'll get called a traitor. Have you noticed all the lefties? Anyone who says Trump's right, you're not patriotic. You're a traitor. You're the ones who've been telling us we can't put flags on lampposts. You're the ones who tell us we can't sing England, England at the football. Get lost. You're the ones who ruined the country. We're not going to listen to you. And let's face it, if it came to a straight fight, we'd win. Have you noticed veganism's dying out? That's a good thing. Have you ever seen a healthy vegan? No. Of course you haven't. I back Trump, says Nigel. Which bits of the John Gaunt programme are serious and which bits is he taking the mickey? I don't know. I think I back Trump. If he is taking over countries for our, in capitals, protection, and not minerals, oil, etc., if it helps us, let him crack on. And as for the EU, well, they're weak, useless, waste of time, just like Starmer. Well said, Nigel. The point is, Nigel, it is about the minerals. Just like Venezuela. He was bragging today about how many barrels of oil they got out of Venezuela. But it's not about personal gain for him. He's loaded. He's minted. But that money is going to go into his country or into Venezuela. And I said this weeks ago, when the Venezuelan thing happened. I've been to Venezuela. I've been there. It's a very beautiful country. And Caracas, the architecture is outstanding, and the history. However, when you look up from Caracas, there's a mountain range all around it, and it's full of slums, or it was when I was there. 6 million people, because the useless dictators who have run that country, a succession of left and right ones, have kept all the money for themselves. That is not what Trump is doing. And I would rather Trump was getting the oil, the minerals, whatever, or America and the West, to be honest, than China or Russia. Just on that subject, did you hear what Trump said in his speech? He talked about oil in the North Sea. He said, you've got that beautiful sea with all that oil, and your government won't take it out of the ground. He talked about the quest to go green, Miliband. He's right. We've already got fossil fuels we can keep using them. Have China stopped? No. And then he did that great line about windmills. China makes all the windmills, but they don't use them themselves. I've got to let you into a secret here. That was hyperbolics. That was hyperbole. It's wrong. China does. I think it gets about 10 or 11% of its power now from alternative sources. But they haven't covered the whole of China with wind farms. Like us. In this country, it's like, oh, there's a beautiful landscape. Beautiful. That's the Lake District. Oh, that's Cornwall. Let's put a load of fucking wind farms up there. And they don't make any money at the moment. It's rubbish. We're being sold a con, and then they charge us more on our bills. And look at electric cars. They're not going to work, are they? Did I or did I not say that years ago? If you want to comment, please do. Please, if you'd like to donate, like the people have before the show even started today, get a name check as well if you do it. Anything you fancy. As little or as much as you can afford. Just click the $sign if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're not, you can just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt and donate there. Donald Trump's speech today was the truth. There are certain elements within the EU who are close to Russia and China. I can see the USA pulling out of NATO in time. David, KT, so can I. And then we'd be right up you-know-what creek without a paddle. In fact, we wouldn't even have a canoe. But isn't that the truth? all these mainstream media jerks, they all get off on, oh, what if he takes us into war? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if Trump just says, I ain't playing anymore, I'm taking my ball, I'm going home? I remember when he got in the first time, they were worried he was going to be isolationist. I'll also tell you something. The first term, he didn't go to war with anyone. Have a look at Barack Obama's record of foreign adventures. Oh, Emily Maitlis, that's yours. I'd forgotten her name, the Nomark, who's moaning about us, about America deporting illegal immigrants, right? Emily Maitlis used to work for the BBC, fully trained, probably got a big fat pension, and now she's on some podcast with John Soft Soap Sopel. They're getting their knickers in a twist about all this. Why? What's the alternative? Right, let's move on. John Stead is number one. I'm not saying Osama bin Laden is in China's pocket, but his actions over Chagos and the super spy hub have proven that he's wanting. I like that. Play on words, very good indeed. I tell you what, it's outrageous what he's done with China. He's not going to get away with it, is he? Is he? Because Donald Trump said, we ain't doing that. We're not playing ball with you. Oh, no, sorry. There's so many big stories. Sorry. China, I don't think he'll get away with it because hopefully there'll be mass protests against it, the embassy. I was then just thinking ahead. Sorry, I do apologize. We can't have a situation where he's kowtowing to everybody around the globe. China, the only reason he wants to give them that embassy, he wants to get a trade deal. Why does he want a trade deal? To make up for all the money that stupid woman, Rachel Reeves, has pissed up the war with her economic policies. It's not about the security of Britain. And then the Chagos, that's what I was going to say. How come he's so keen, Starmer and the other Western leaders, people in Denmark, people in Greenland must decide their own future? Oh, yeah. What about the people who you forcibly removed from the Chagos Isles? Don't they get a say before you sell them off to China? And it is China because it's Mauritius who are in the grip of China. Why would you give away our territory and then pay for it? You can see he's never had a proper job, can't you? The Chinese must be laughing their ducks off. So I wonder they can still ride their bikes. Oh, they don't ride bikes anymore, do they? Because they're fully industrialised and they're making more money than us. There you are. Dennis Shelley, get with it, guys. Mr. Trump is totally correct, saying that we all have to pay for our safety. Why should Americans pay to keep us safe? Donald says illegal immigrants have to be removed because they've illegally entered a foreign country. What's wrong with that? Dennis, I agree with you 100%. Jed Medina says, where you gone? There we are. Talking sense, big time. Thank you very much indeed. Another one. What's the point of having a name that long for YouTube? Quentin Crisp and Dried. That's meant to be a joke here. Quentin Crisp and... Anyway, left have had too much power in the past. Times are a-changing, Bob Dylan, and the lefties are scared. I love Nigel and Trump. Well, I'm in your camp, mate. Thank you for your comment. Leon Tail. The world has definitely gone mad, John. Have you seen the new health ambassador for Wales? I have, yeah. I'm not taking the mickey, but she's a rather large person, isn't she? And she's in charge of health, yeah. It's a joke, a farce. Starmer has divided this country. If he went to Davos, too many would be laughing at him. No, they'd love him. They'd love him. Other than that, we might be a bit like Dirty Ed Den. Do you remember when they... Not Dirty Den. I still can't get rid of this cold, so my brain isn't working 100%. Do you remember Del Boy when they went to that cocktail party and they all wore dinner suits and he went in a white one and everyone thought he was the waiter? That's what it'd be like with Starmer. Bring me another yogurt drink or a kefir. That's what they drink, isn't it? Den Spinks. Starmer is insane, John. Thank you very much indeed. I think you're right. Mickey says, excellent. Mickey 7829. Thank you. Well, if you think it's that excellent, how about a donation? I've not had one yet. Just click the little $sign Donate whatever you can, or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, and you can donate there as well. Anything from a £5 upwards there. I really appreciate it if you could. I really would. You get your name on the bottom of the screen. I've got to update that, by the way. Where's next? Annette Locke. She's a regular. All right, Annette. They never minded using America for defense when they were paying less. But when the costs went up with Trump, they've all turned on him. They ripped America off for years. Now it's time to pay the piper. Well, we mustn't just use the term they, Annette. It's us as well. Admittedly, we've paid more than, say, the Germans, but not enough. And that's what, when Trump came to power the second time, he said, I'm going to get this right. You're going to pay a whack. I haven't got a problem with that. Have you? And then with Denmark, they haven't got any money. I mean, he was just talking today in that speech. It was just plain common sense. He said, well, you ain't got any money. I've got loads of money because I'm America. I'll defend you, but this is the cost. What's the problem with that? And he's not talking about taking it over in that kind of, I'll be the president of Greenland. He even called it Iceland at one point. And he said, what is it? Just a whole load of beautiful ice. And then these idiots, he's left his, he's just after the mineral. Well, is he? And as I keep saying, who would you rather have in charge of them? Some mad dictator, China, Russia, or Donald? Excuse me, I'll have to stop snorting cocaine. That's a joke. Jake Morton Brown again. Here's an idea to get the cash in, John, to make Lisa happy. Where's Starmer's bingo cards? You'll be back in the Jag by the end of the week. Yeah. Well, no one's taken me up on that. I was going to play a game like that, yeah. Where's Starmer? You've got to keep it clean. Where's Starmer? What's he been doing today that's more important than world peace? What do you reckon? Huh? What a leader. And then tomorrow, he's got the boss of Denmark. It's a woman, I think. The premier or the president coming over. Why? By then, Donald Trump will have the deal sealed. It's just pathetic. I'm sending you 30 quid in the next few days, John. Is that okay? Of course it is. Thank you, Den. Make sure you send it via www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, or send it here just by clicking the little $sign. That's very kind of you. 30 quid. That would really come in handy. In fact, one of the people today said that I haven't sent you anything recently, so here's 15 quid. That's really nice. Some people are saying you can get yourself a new alternator because you know my car. Don't start. It's getting fixed on Monday, by the way. I merely replied to Craig Urquhart with an avatar to his Orange Land. Unsure what the problem is. Guess you misunderstood. Take care, John, says Neil Kelly. Yeah, Neil, you must be new to the show. I just don't like it when people start having other conversations. I'm old-fashioned, right? I see myself as the conductor of the orchestra. You're all playing the instruments. In your case, it'd be a little triangle. A joke. But if you start talking to each other, what happens is on my message board, there's a load of messages I can't read out. And bear in mind, I'm doing this completely live. I haven't got a producer sitting here with me saying, take this message next, John. Do this message next. Who's read them before? It's just me. So it's much easier if we just keep it clean in the sense of just comments to me. Be like in an old trade union meeting. Comments through the chair, please. 40 foreign trips because he's afraid of the common people. Oh, what a great song. Not Blur. Pulp. So how's he never going to face the anger of the God Emperor, Donald J. Trump? You're right there, John. There's no way. That you can hear his bum cheeks clanging from Coventry today. Fancy not going. And what about Nigel Farage? Anybody else agree with me that Starmer should speak to Farage and say, have a word with your mate? Farage has already said he'll do it. Of course, he'll get publicity out of it, but the country has to come first. Mr. Scott Darling says, when I see Starmer, I see Joe 90. Oh, I see the voice of the Mistrons. That's where he's taking it, mate. The voice of the Mistrons. I used to love Captain Scarlet and all that, didn't you? Joe 90. I met him, the bloke who made all those programs. Interviewed him years ago. He's dead now, isn't he? Jerry Anderson and his missus, yeah. Interviewed him. Nice people. Trump and Farage, the dream team. Get amongst them, says Paul Rowbottom. Why were Starmer... Why were Starmer's Ukrainian rent boys in Davos? Don't be daft. They're in prison. They're on remand. And they're not... I think it's May, isn't it? They're back in court. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. I'm in the right state tonight. And Tony Whitworth, BBC. A transgender woman's milk is just as good for babies as breast milk. How do you ever take these people seriously and people still pay for this misinformation? Well, are they saying that a bloke who's become a woman can have breast milk? That's rubbish. That's not true, is it? Anyway, thank you for your comments. Service, they provide service. Now, there's people now saying things. I haven't got a clue what you're on about. Cheers, Netmeg. Makes sense. Write something that makes sense. So far, Starmer got one thing right. It's going to get worse before it gets better, is the only thing. He's just dreadful, isn't he? He's just not a leader. UK Parliament or Davos? The PM excitedly said Davos. Yes, he did. And some news outlets have been playing that today, GB News in particular. Seems the big man has turned up to call him out, i.e. Trump. And Davos is no longer his kingdom of safety. You're right. Well said, Tony Whitworth. Yeah, he loves Davos, so why isn't he there? What's he scared of? Couldn't be Donald Trump, could it? These people, they make me sick. Trump made a great point today. He said, nice to see you all here. I can see I've got some friends. And then he paused and he said, and quite a few enemies. I just thought he just knows how to command a room, doesn't he? He's just a leader. He's got the X factor. He's got the charisma, just like Nigel. Starmer will never have it. Now, to be fair, excuse me, Tony Blair had it, but it went to his head, didn't it? But these two, no. But then who did we have before? Well, with Liz the Lettuce, Rishi, useless. There's been a whole succession of Muppets, right? Not even, it's an insult that, to Muppets. Where's the real leaders? This is the land of Churchill. I just don't get it. Jackie Ward, by the way, I'm not going on very long tonight, so if you want to get a comment in now, or particularly a donation, do it now, because I do want to finish relatively early tonight. Lisa's cooked a chili. Shush. John, I'm just looking at a picture on my screen. I see Farage and Trump with Gaunt in the middle. What a dream team that would be. Yeah, but I'd have to be the boss. I'm joking. No, I'm never going to try and go into politics again. I'd love to meet Donald Trump, I must admit. I did go to his inauguration party, but I didn't get to say hello to him. Farage, I've met loads of times, obviously. Jim Garfield, I do see Trump's view on Greenland. For the greater good, he has to protect the USA and the free world. It's future-proofing their defense in this volatile time and rogue states striving for nuclear weapons. Jim, that's a very good point indeed. And then you get all the uber liberals, don't you, on the BBC and in the mainstream media going, the Russians eat their baby, they might invade us. The Russians are coming. Oh, no, now the Chinese are coming. Okay, well, here's a bloke who's willing to stand up to them. Yeah, what's his name? Donald Trump. Oh, no, we can't have Donald Trump, not the orange man. They think Donald Trump is more of a threat to world freedom and democracy than Putin and the Chinese boss. Have you seen that meme that's on Twitter today and on Facebook? It's the Chinese president, whatever his name is, Zhu something, whatever. And he's got a little ventriloquist dummy, and it's Starmer. I thought it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Steinsdale. God, all these people with stupid names. I hope Donald Trump takes Iceland too. That's why your name's odd. Sorry, I do it not odd. It's not British. I do apologise. I'm Icelandic and I live in the USA with the best president ever in the history of our history. Yeah, but they all hate him, don't they? Not the people, because he won every vote in the last election, didn't he? Every aspect. There's no way they can say he's not democratically elected. And I noticed today he did say that the election at Biden, and he repeated the same thing, that he still believes that was stolen. Who knows? But thanks for your comments. Please listen again, and please spread the word wherever you are in the States. We are brothers. Starmer is a very poor stand-in for number 10. When Nigel takes the keys, he can quote Starmer. Release the sausages. Laugh out loud. Yeah, why did he say that? Why did he say? What was on his mind? Shush. Good evening, John. Trump doesn't beat about the bush. Just reminding you about Crossroads, if you've got time to fit it in. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not sure I'm going to have time tonight. But, yeah, my story is about Amy Turtle and Crossroads. I might have to do it tomorrow because what time is it now? 40 minutes in. Yeah, I've got to finish soon. If you're watching this on repeat, thank you. Don't forget you can listen to it on a podcast. You get them on Apple, you get them on every podcast thing, or even on YouTube you can get the podcast. But if you want the video, come to YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. They're on there as well, but YouTube particularly. Make sure you join, subscribe, and then you get notified every time I'm doing one. It also helps my numbers if you could do that, please. And this all helps us get to our target. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. It's now at 6,600 and something. Okay, so let's try and get over to the 7,000 at least in the next few days. If you can help me out, do it. Get all your mates to sign up as well. It's free. And if you'd like to donate, you can do that as well. Where are we going next? An army of Christian men line up and prayer before going on march for Jesus in Australia. Amen. Have you not had your medication? What's that got to do with what we're discussing today? God bless them if they're religious, but I don't know what that's trying to point. What point you're making? Shamito 7977. We all like collecting things. Pokemon cards, trainers. Trump likes collecting countries. Well, I think that's a bit unfair. Richard Pope will be forwarding it, John. Oh, that's Den Spinks. Okay. You've not got an account. Okay, Richard, get onto it, please. What's this? Tony Whitworth. I'll read this out. Huge story, he says. UK is part of a trading bloc, 30% larger than the EU's. Who knew? Secretive Starmer has kept this very quiet for over a year. We wonder why. Government would have no excuses to create new taxes. I don't know what you're on about there, Tony, but I'll look into it. Thank you very much. Where's next? Alan Wilson. Farage is a snake. Is he? What do you mean by that? Are you not a reform supporter? Maybe you're a supporter of Ben Habib or somebody else? Or what's his name? Rupert? I don't understand that accusation. He isn't. Did you see Javier Milei's Davos speech yesterday, highlighting the UK's suppression of free speech? Even Argentina are saying it. How low have we sunk? Yeah, I didn't see that, but I did imagine today that he might have gone on about free speech, Starmer. Not Starmer, Trump. I'm sure he will. Come on, make sure you get in before I finish. Starmer plus Starlock. That's what he is, a Starlock. Very good. Where are we next? Mr. Scotty, darling, let's face it, Russia should have been allowed to join NATO, but we need bad guys to pay billions to the weapons companies and their shareholders. We would not have this problem with Russia. I'm not sure we can completely trust Putin, even though I'm the one who says they don't eat their babies. And I've been to Russia two times, and they're just like me and you know. Anyway, I see Prince Harry's in court today. Was bleating his wife was totally stressed about what the press had done to her. Really? 30 million? Wedding was okay then, was it? Terry, you're a cynic. Do you know what? I don't even look at those stories anymore. It's like the Beckham one. You know, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I'm not interested. And if I was David Beckham, I'd just get I'd get Eric Cantona to go around and give him a slap, his son, because his son's a bit out of order from what I've read. But anyway, Trump walks in the room, silence. He is a born leader. Starmer walks in the room, we all laugh. Mr. U-turn, a PM U-turns that much shows weakness. Mrs. Thatcher did U-turn, didn't U-turn, whether right or wrong, and that illustrates strength. Thank you very, very much indeed. All right. Well, I've got another one here from Tony Whitworth, but I've read out loads of his already, so I'm not reading that out. So if you want to get on now, just before I finish, feel free. Last couple of comments. But in the end, what I want to know is, are you with Trump on this? Do you think the way he's been treated and the way he'll be treated in the media tonight and tomorrow is appalling? Because I certainly do. Thanks for watching. Spread the word. Keep telling people about John Gaunt TV on YouTube. Please tell them they can listen as podcasts as well on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, etc. And if you can go to John Gaunt TV, please do that and subscribe. Like I said to you before, completely and utterly free. Jackie Ward's just given me her 3 red hearts, which means I can now stop if I want to. So thank you very much indeed for that. If you want to join in, hang on a minute. We've only had 1 donation tonight while the show's on. I had 3 or 4 before the show. Jim Garfield is a big supporter of mine. He's just put a super sticker in on YouTube, £4. Jim, I really appreciate it. You're a top man. Thank you very, very much indeed. You could donate now if you want before I stop, or alternatively go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. I'm off, going to eat me chili. If I survive that, that's a joke. I'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Good numbers tonight, so thank you for that. Until then, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.